Hey everybody, it's Josh. So there might be two things going on right now. One, you're thinking about signing up for the nutrition plan, or two, you've already done so. Either way, I'm sure there's many questions going through your mind, and one of them might be, how am I supposed to track my progress? I mean, that's a great question because if you're doing some sort of health plan, you want to know how much progress or how little progress you're making. I'm going to show you 3 things that you can do every single month that no matter what your health goal is, you'll be able to see if you're making progress or not. Let's do it. So the first method of measurement is going to be circumference measurements. Now, what you're going to need is a tape measure and yourself. What you're going to measure first is your chest, followed by your midsection, then your hips, then your quad, and your arm. A few things to note. When you're measuring both your quad and your arm, every month or every term that you are measuring, you want to make sure that you're measuring the same arm each time. This is important for consistency in your measurements. Let's start with the first site, which is the chest. You want to take your tape measure and starting from number 1, you want to place that end on one of your nipples. You might want to have a friend with you so that way you can ensure that the tape measure is parallel to the ground. Wrap the tape measure around your chest and make sure that there is no space between the tape measure and your body. Take note of the measurement, write it down, and let's move on to the next site. The next site is going to be your midsection. Same idea. You're going to take the tape measure starting at the number 1. You're going to place it on your belly button, and you're going to wrap it around your waist, ensuring that the tape measure is parallel to the ground. Again, if you need a friend to make sure that that's happening, do that. Ensure that there is no space between you and the tape measure and you're not cutting off circulation. Take note of the measurement, and let's move on to the next. The next one is going to be the hips. There's going to be one difference between this and the other measurements. You're going to measure 6 inches downward from the peak of your pelvis. Find that peak area of your pelvis, measure 6 inches downward, and that's where you're going to measure for your hips. Ensure that you're standing with your feet hip-width distance apart. Stand still, wrap the tape measure around your body, ensuring that it is parallel to the ground. Take note of the measurement, and let's move on to the next. The next site is going to be the quadricep. Now remember, you want to measure the same quadricep every single time that you take measurements. Starting with the tape measure at number 1, measure 6 inches above the knee. Once you've done that, that is the site that you're going to place the tape measure and measure circumference. Remember, make sure that there is no space between you and the tape measure and that you're not cutting off circulation. Take note of the measurement, and let's move on to the next. The last site that you're going to take measurement of is the arm. Again, just like the thigh, you want to make sure that you're doing the same arm every single time you're taking measurements. Take your elbow and measure 6 inches above the elbow closest to the shoulder, and then take measurement from that site. Remember, ensure that there is no space between you and the tape measure and that you're not cutting off circulation. Take note of the measurement, and let's move on. The second method of measurement is going to be body fat percentage. There are 2 methods that are probably the most accessible to you right now. The first one is going to be bioimpedance. This is going to take the amount of water in your body and it's going to subtract it from your total weight, giving you body fat percentage. What you want to do with this method is you want to make sure that you have fasted for at least 8 hours and that you do it first thing in the morning. The second one is going to be using calipers measuring skin folds. This is going to be easily the most accurate method. What you want to do is whatever measurements you do take, you want to take them each 3 times and take the average of that number. Then you're going to have the most accurate number for body fat percentage. Calipers are going to be the most accurate. Bioimpedance is going to be the quickest and the most accessible. The good thing about bioimpedance is that even though the initial measurement of your body fat percentage might be not correct, if you're measuring with the same method every month, the differences and changes, whether you go up or down, are going to be spot on accurate. Which brings us to our third and final measurement, total mass in pounds or kilograms, using a scale. So when you use a scale, you want to ensure that you're doing so on a level ground. The one recommendation I have about taking measurements is that you want to ensure that you're taking measurements in a consistent interval. So that means if you start with taking them every month, make sure that from there on out you're taking it every month. If you're doing every 2 weeks, every 2 weeks. You don't want to mix and match. I hope this video on taking measurements was helpful to you. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to contact us at joshmanda@fitnutplan.com. Take care and go get it.